Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to yet another episode of CNTV Interview Session, a program where we invite innovators, stakeholders, and influencers in the blockchain, cryptocurrency, and fintech ecosystem to come air their view and state of the ecosystem. So today we are going to be talking about Web3 and its potentials. I know recently people are chanting around and discussing around. We could hear people say Web3 and everything. So I know sometimes people don't really understand actually what is Web3. When they are saying Web3, they will be looking at have we heard about Web1, Web2? These are more you're going to be understanding at the course of this conversation. I have with me the co-founder and COO Stardust.com in the person of Kira Cos Aristide. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, thank you for having me. How are you today?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm good as well. So let's jump right into it actually.
Okay.
Web
So
3.
how is the UK today? How's the UK today?
It's funny, it's as usually doom and gloom, so you can see me being in a surrounded box here in the white lights. So yeah.
Okay, so well, let me, people are asking questions around Web3. So we want to look so that I'll be able to explain it and so that people will know the
Mhm.
potentials of Web3. So, a
Yeah,
lot of people find it difficult to comprehend what
yeah.
Web3 is. Okay, how would you explain Web3?
So in very simple terms, we need to look at how we ended up naturally on Web 3.0. So in this regards is as times evolve and human needs evolve, we tend to gravitate towards building new things, then building money that match the system, and then we end up having to transfer a lot of parts of society, employment, rights, transactions, right to commerce to a new format. So naturally, humans the last 20 years were evolving in technology in internet. They started from communicating to distributing content to now adding jobs and environment and even evolving their own existence through the metaverse. So there's a lot of pieces that are coming together, but what Web 3.0 is pretty much the human evolution for business, for money, and for day-to-day living.
Interesting to know that. Okay, having been able to describe what Web 3.0 is,
Mhm,
let's look at the potentials. What does it present? We see what the internet brought.
mhm,
What is this? What is the potentials or uniqueness of this Web
mhm.
3 that everyone is
So
almost talking
here,
about?
yeah. So here I like to have a very simple example on this case. So I want you to think of how much it costs for a real estate individual to sell a property in regards of paperwork to get their transaction done. So that's the cost of time. That's also the cost to get the paperwork done. So every time, every way a transaction becomes valid, it takes a certain time. So to be liquid, it takes a lot of time. So now Web 3.0 having a data sets of an individual, let's say even real estate trader with their KYC, with their things bundled up, a verified individual, verified funds, and the whole 9 yards of what used to be a delay. Now imagine the individual can jump from market to market. So now they can jump and buy this piece of real estate in a fraction or normal, or shift from that to art in NFT, or maybe hold on the other hand side commerce globally because they can secure shipping through cryptocurrencies and tokenized instruments. So it's about making business more fluent. So every time we actually conduct business transactions in reality, there's a lot of regulation and things that need to be complied with. As we go through change in Web 3.0 and every evolution, these things speed up. So we end up having a much more connected, much more liquid market that it keeps on evolving.
Interesting. Okay, let's look at, you are the co-founder and CEO of Stardust X.com.
Mhm.
So how are you making contributions towards adoption of Web3 and people acquiring skills that will make them to transition to this Web3?
Yeah. So here at Startup Stakes, what we're doing is taking the argument of semi-centralization, and decentralized variables. So if we're making a future of Web 3.0, we need to make sure that whatever we're pricing in the internet and whatever we're contributing as transactions need to have some variables to excuse pricings for the cost of trading, cost of conducting business, and etc. So these variables is something we want to take on the decentralized side and plug it in derivatives. So imagine now, instead of just buying space from a miner, imagine the contract of the space is also tradable. So you can, instead of locking yourself down for a month or months in total, having a much more secure profit for the miner and also for the individual by buying the contract, by also being able to trade it and taking some value of the table until the thing expires.
Okay, okay.
Mhm.
Let's look at, there is no invention of technology or innovation that doesn't come with a challenge. So
Mhm.
looking at, a lot of people are talking from the benefit, the good
Mhm.
aspect of Web3.
Yeah.
So I know there should be some risks and challenges associated with Web3. What are some of them
Mhm.
that you can just share with us?
Yeah. So to simplify any future instruments and things that people can get themselves involved with, they need to be simplified. And as we go down the line, things become more complicated technologically and financially to understand. But on that hand side, we need to have more education out there and also easy ways to adopt or participate. So as we go down the line, things need to be even more simplified. Now, explaining to somebody how to put a four leg or three leg or two leg spread strategy to hedge off their current cryptocurrencies and in an NFT, that's a very simplifying the action to participate in that is the singular challenge, in my opinion. And then explaining the rules of the game. When I say rules of the game, is the variables that are decentralized coming from APIs on on-chain reporting need to be expressed how they actually value things. So for everybody to go out there and understand, if they have a question, how is this thing priced, they should be able to refer somewhere that sort of behaves as self-governing of information instead of information colliding and creating arbitrage between exchanges of misinformation and then liquidity crashes to follow.
Thank you very much, Kairos.
Mhm.
Thank you very much. Before we do the cutting of today's episode of CNTV
Mhm.
interview session, I would like to get your closing remarks.
My closing remarks would be since the retail consumer loves to talk about market caps and idolize our growth, which is been exponential and something to be proud of for the whole industry. We need to be paying attention currently at the parts that are about to grow as market caps. We see metaverse tokens with not enough market cap. We see the just the Bitcoin option open interest to be just 10 billion, where it should have been on the side of the trillion, and more growth in the NFTs that start attaching uh, real property. So buying a yacht through NFTs, that's something that totally possible. Same with cars and houses. Pay attention at the market caps that haven't grew yet, and instead of chasing market caps that have already touched themselves into the billions and trillions, and at this point they should be developing their infrastructure instead of chasing any more market caps.
Thank you very much. It has really been an amazing discussion with you, Kyriakos Aristide, the
Thank you
co-founder
for
and
having
CEO
me.
of StartupX.com. Thank you very much.